Hello folks and welcome back to Medieval Total War. I'm Step and this is going to be part 52 of my early campaign we're playing as England. And we are still at war with the Danes. Yeah, this is proving to be a formidable late game opponent. Finally, this has been pretty fun and pretty challenging. So we have ourselves 32 turns left before the end of this campaign. And I would say that I'm probably fine in regards to my glorious achievements points. I don't think that anyone's going to be catching up to me. The Danes, I mean, they are making a lot of points, but still, I don't think so. With only two more counting periods. Yeah, that's it. So 2 more counting periods, I don't think so. Just kind of eyeballing it here, and I think that mainly we're just working about the existential threat that is, the actual survival and existence of my empire against the Danes. And it would be nice, honestly, to kind of end this campaign having kind of, put the Danes in their place, right? Like, it's one thing to kind of, like, hang on for dear life, which is, it's okay. It'd be kind of a different way for me to end a campaign. But to actually kind of, like, be actually truly in power would be nice as well. Not to say I don't need the most amount of territories. I don't need the Danes to be destroyed for that to happen. But, I just, maybe like a nice solid Danish civil war to kind of prove my point. So with that being said, I still do not intend to go on the offensive militarily against the Danes. I think that this is a bit more interesting, just kind of doing like a kind of a last defense, kind of hold the line kind of thing. They have a lot of armies in the neighborhood. They do. And I know that, yeah, famous last words, but like, the Vikings are a solid troop, they are, but I think that they have leaned too heavily into that unit because they have a lot of them, a lot of Vikings. And they are solid, they are. But I think that I can fight against a melee infantry focused army a bit better than I could fight against a melee cav focused army. That's the idea anyway. So my armies might be able to give as good as they get here. Even if we do end up having to fall back, really the main places that I want to make sure that I keep control over, well, ideally everything that I currently have, if I could keep control of them, that would be nice. But when it comes to glorious achievements provinces, if we really look at that and just go, what do I actually need to hang on to acquire points? On the continental Europe, it's going to be Aquitaine and Normandy. And that's going to be it. So if they were to capture Anjou, Brittany, Flanders, Ile-de-France, that wouldn't be the worst thing. So if I just end up kind of falling back to Aquitaine and Normandy, that could be okay. But of course I could also counterattack and maybe take back provinces and we will see. I have plenty of troops still in Ireland, and I can continue to form up armies and send them to the mainland as they are needed. So that's all there. Yeah. I'm going to continue to try to use my agents effectively against the Danes. It's going to be a little bit more tricky since the Pope has died. And by like the Pope, I mean the papacy. It's gone for now. It's going to reemerge eventually, but for now it is gone. And actually, you know what? That reminds me, I should probably try to get an alliance with the Italians. They had been trying to get an alliance with me for such a long time, but I was allied to the Pope and they were fighting the Pope, so I couldn't do that. But now that the Pope is gone, I wouldn't mind getting the Italians on my side. I've been saying this for a while. They are the wild card, and especially like this. I mean, Jesus, with the forces that the Italians have here in Navarre could really affect the outcome. They could either attack the Danes here in Aragon or me in Aquitaine. They could turn on the Danes here in Castile. So who knows? Currently they're only at war with the Germans and that's it. And I don't actually have eyes on Bavaria and Austria, so let me fix that. Let me get that Inquisitor over there and then Bishop. over to Bavaria. And yeah, I want to see what's going on over here. Now, the war on the seas between myself and the Danes, it's a bit back and forth. Yeah, it has not been decisive. I would say that I'm winning, sure, but yeah, it's taking time. It is taking time, and it's causing, I would say that's really helping the Danes kind of stay in the fight, because it is connecting their territories, possibly in ways, well, I would be blockading any influence effects that their king would be having on their international properties. So I guess that's not so much the issue. But yeah, still, the Danish, I mean, clearly they're blockading my trade for sure. I'm only losing 5,000 per turn right now. And again, money's not really an issue for me, so that doesn't matter. I'm just kind of, you know, fighting their boats to cause them problems, right? So I'm going to continue to do that. I still have naval supremacy. It's just a matter of kind of catching their boats. But they got good boats in the water still, and they got good admirals, so it's not an easy one-sided fight. Despite the fact that it is going to my favor. And then the Byzantines, yes. Yeah, the Byzantines. I have lost Antioch completely to the Byzantines. How did that happen? I'm trying to remember. Because I didn't storm... I didn't end up having to... Right, they bribed my garrison. That's right. Ooh, man. One of those memories that I'd wish that I hadn't remembered, you know? Like, you know, when it feels good to, like, remember or to forget, like, bad feelings and thoughts. And then it comes back and you're like, ooh, I didn't need that. And that just happened to me right now. It's like, ooh, yeah, my life is a little bit better when I'd forgotten that happened to me. Because, yeah, I was pretty bitter about that, Jesus. With all that being said, though, I would say that I'm bleeding the Byzantines dry over time. Their forces in Anatolia and Syria and even Antioch, I would say this is probably their strongest army. And I would imagine that this army can just come right on in and stomp it. I would think so. This general only has 4 loyalty, though. So Sir Edward Burnell. What about you? You also have 4 loyalty. Lord Beckett. Yeah, it's a little bit concerning. Let's try to keep you on side. I know I have 2 daughters that are of age, so let's bring 25, Princess Adela. And you come over here and marry Sir Edward Burnell. And raises the loyalty up a bit here. And then this army, yeah, I think, let's see, do we have our artillery that I want to bring with? There, yeah, the 2 serpentines. Can you guys go into Antioch? Yes, you can. So yeah, we're ready to attack into Antioch. So let's go here and then here. And I don't know if they're going to stand and fight. They might. And if they do, if they retreat to the stronghold, which I imagine they would, my stronghold, goddammit. Do I have guns? Like big guns, culverins, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I might want to bring these guns as well, just so that I can actually get inside of my fortress, goddammit. You know? And do I have any other guns in the neighborhood, or I just have those 2 culverins? Yeah, everything else that I have is anti-personnel weaponry. But that's okay. 2 culverins should be enough to get me through. Gosh, actually, I don't know. How pimped out are these culverin towers in a fortress? Against 2 culverins? I don't know. Typically, when I'm doing sieges the right way, I like to bring 6 siege weapons. I know that seems like overkill, but you kind of... Like, I took sieges pretty lightly at first for some time before I finally realized, you know what, let's take this seriously and really bring enough stuff to make it so that, you know, even if it's like a couple hundred guys that you're fighting up against and you think, hey, that's nothing, you know? But the sieges are different, obviously, as they should be. They're harder. You lose a lot of guys getting through those walls and those gates. So bringing artillery to really demolish their defenses is going to be the way to go. So, do I have guns? Do I just have a bunch of artillery here somewhere? I must have... There's an artillery piece. There's... Before I just send them on over, because I might want to put an army together to bring on to the continent, so I'll look into this more closely off camera. But before I do that, also I noticed that I have this crusade marker, and I'm trying to remember, like, what was the plan with that? Maybe, for one thing, it could have been anything, right? The Danes were excommunicated, so potentially going up against them was an option. Also, I think that I was maybe planning on using that crusade against the Byzantines, but the issue with that, though, is that the timing... So Odessa is under siege, and it's going to last for 6 more turns before it falls, which isn't the shortest amount of time, but I'm still kind of on the clock, you know? So, do I want to send a crusade to Odessa? I think I can send it to Odessa because it counts as, you know, having been lost by me. Right? Looks like it's not letting me send it there. Is that what the red means? Let me just check. Oh, right. There's no Pope. Right. Got it. Yeah. Right. So that doesn't matter until the Pope comes back. Alright, that's fine. Now, another thing that I sort of forgot to do when I was using my agents, I think in the last episode against the Danes, was that I forgot to use my emissaries to actually look at Danish captains and generals and look for guys that are easier to bribe and then, you know, bribing them. So that's something that I should do. Guys, like, I think you have one of those traits. Moral flexibility, yeah, minus 30% to bribe. Like, he's definitely a target. I think up here, this is a zero loyalty guy with weak principles as well. Minus 20% cost to bribe. So those are also opportunities that I should be looking at, is bribing opportunities. And then also, yeah, using the Inquisitors is going to be a bit tough because they're not excommunicated. Although, I mean, you're pretty low piety, aren't you? Yeah, you're low piety. King is low piety. You're low piety. Okay, so actually maybe I can kill some of these guys. Yeah, he's low piety, and he's the governor of Silesia, the voivode, and the chancellor of Denmark. Yeah, he's a target for sure. Let me see. Make sure I can get Lord Rafsness' son. Make sure I get the right guy. Goddamn, see, that's... I can't... It's not going to tell me... It's hard to find out if I'm getting the right guy here. So, the Inquisitor is attempting to conduct a trial of the... Yeah, Lord Rafston of the Danes. Okay, so I got the right guy. Why was it only a 6% chance? That's kind of weird. Because of his command stars? You'd think, oh, must be the zeal Poland must be low. Yeah, it's 3%, that's why. Damn. Ugh, okay, so I should raise that zeal bit here. Anyway, alright, I'll be doing most of this stuff off camera, but I just wanted you guys to see what the plan is. Now, I've just spent quite a bit of time on this turn, making sure that all of my agent actions have been put in. Just for like a kind of a rule of thumb, I don't know if I've actually said this out loud, but when I do the bribing stuff with my emissaries, so for one thing, that's a pretty new thing for me. I don't do a lot of bribing in my campaigns, mainly because I forget. I have to get reminded a lot of times by you folks that bribing is an option. I have used it as a central gameplay mechanic for one of my factions in Shogun Total War, which is pretty fun, kind of like bribing rebel areas and kind of making them my little I don't know, my little, what do I want to call them, little island holdout places. There's a way better word for that. But throughout the map I had these rebel places that were bribed by me, and I just kind of expanded from there, which is a pretty fun way to play that game. And in this game, though, I have to be reminded a lot of times, in Rome too, I have to be reminded that bribing is an option. However, when you're this rich, you know, I would say that bribing is probably overpowered. Maybe. Haven't done it that much. And it does seem like, to go against what I just said, it does seem like when you do bribe people and it's a failed bribery, they immediately get a trait that makes it harder to bribe them. So even if they have initially had a trait that makes them harder or easier to bribe, then that gets countered after like one failed bribery mission. So maybe it's not easy to bribe in this game. Maybe it's not. Maybe it gets hard really. But just as a kind of like a rule of thumb, what I've been doing is I only try to bribe generals or captains that have a trait that makes them easier to bribe, I guess, is what I've been doing. And yeah, just is kind of like a house rules kind of thing. Just otherwise, it might be too easy, you know? Because then I could just be bribing like, you know, this and this, and it's just one unit. There's nothing there, you know? It was just, I don't know, just be a little bit too easy perhaps. So, there weren't too many bribery options with all that being said, because there weren't that many generals or captains that had those bad traits, but there's a couple of them spread out throughout the map. And then same thing for my inquisitors. Just because the zeal's so low in their provinces, the Danish provinces, I don't have too many good inquisition targets either, so it's not that great. Yeah, let's see, I do have some assassins, don't I? In Danish territories. They don't have a lot of territories that don't have watchtowers as well. That's another issue. I'm going to be trying to force in a spy past Lithuania that does have a watchtower, but if I can get them to Novgorod or Finland, neither of those places have watchtowers, so maybe I can cause some issues up here. Every little bit helps, right? And causing, you know, a rebellion and causing them to potentially lose some provinces and potentially causing the king to lose some influence, every little bit helps. Also, it was pointed out to me after that battle where I attacked the Danes in Toulouse, I think. It was pointed out to me that if I had just massacred all the prisoners that I captured, then the Danish royal line would have been eliminated potentially, because the king was like 18 when he was a king. He was like super young. Maybe he was 16. Yeah, I don't know. Can't remember, but he was super young, and I thought that my defense was that since he had just turned 16, that means he wasn't part of that battle. But look at this. Captured. So he's already been captured. And yeah, you know what? He was probably part of that. Yeah, I probably could have killed him. Yeah. And that may have ended the Danes right then and there. But then we wouldn't be having all of this fun. So thank goodness. All right, let me just haven't checked my public order. I have a new keyboard right now. I'm super happy about it. It's so, man, I've been just talking shit about my keyboard for years. And I have a new keyboard, which is great. But it makes it so that when I do press the shift key to like check my shit, I have to like really make sure I don't press the enter key to end another turn. So it's kind of stressful right now because yes, I have to really watch where my finger's being pressed. All right, we're looking good. Let's go ahead and drop a save again to make sure I click the right buttons on the keyboard. Let's go ahead here. Let's get this turn over with. And let's see if anyone attacks me. The Danes have the power to attack Aquitaine for sure. I did end up bringing a... Oh shit, did I not bring that stack over from... Damn, I have a stack in Wessex that I just put together, and I forgot to bring it to the mainland. So, doy. Oopsie. Well, the Danes are thinking a long time about what they want to be doing. Or someone is, yeah, the Danes, yeah. Yeah, let's see what they do here. And the Italians as well. I'm pretty sure I did remember to tell my bishop to ask the Italians for an alliance. I don't think I forgot to do that. All right, so defendant released. Yes, yes. And I'm spying on this guy over here, trying to whittle down his loyalty. And yeah, sure enough, so Aquitaine has been invaded, and we outnumbered 2-1, which seems very bad, doesn't it? It seems very bad, but I mean, I have a good general. They just have a 2-star general. Who is it? It's just a 1-man unit and a unit of feudal knights. So if I were a betting man, I would bet that he's probably just going to withdraw off the battlefield at the very beginning of the battle, which is such a shitty thing. So stupid how that works, but at least they're only going to be receiving his, you know, his bonuses from this. He might have other traits too that increase morale and such, but still. They are going to be attacking with 2 artillery pieces, so that's going to be 2 basically dead slots in their starting army. But how does this starting army match up? How does it look? So cav-wise, they do have 2 step-heavy cav, which are a you know, archer melee hybrid. It's solid in melee for sure. It is, but I feel like I see them a lot of times shoot for a while first. And that allows me to shoot back. So they might not charge right on in. Actually, they got 3 units of step heavy cav. So yeah, actually pretty solid cavalry corps, kind of going against what I was saying before. And then a chivalric knight as well. Now, my chivalric knights are better. They have better valor, and they have gold-plated armor, so they're pretty beefy. And what else do they have here? So 2 chivalric sergeants, so some decent spearmen, a feudal sergeants, so 3 decent spearmen, some javelins, so pretty low tier stuff, and then 2 arbalesters, so yep, a good crossbow type of unit, and then militia sergeants and Vikings, so 2 bonus versus armor units, pretty low tier, but solid, sure, and feudal men at arms, a pretty solid but low tier-ish sword unit, so yeah, it's a decent mix, it is. And the cavalry push isn't inconsequential, you know, 3 step heavy cav. If they decide to charge in alongside the chivalric knights, I could be a little bit, you know, sweating bullets there, so it's going to be a little bit challenging. How do the reinforcements look? Just wave upon wave of Viking, I suppose, maybe? What do we see here? Halberdiers, peasants, hey, there we go. And yeah, Vikings. Not gonna lie, like, you know, Vikings, despite what I was saying before about them, you know, being pretty low tier, they are solid. And when they're coming at waves at you like this in the, you know, 2nd and 3rd and 4th waves of the battle, that can wear you down for sure. So that could be what happens here. And what are they else saying? I got some more chivalric knights, pretty solid. Viking. A lot of Vikings, yeah. What are these units? Step cav. Okay, look a little different. Yeah, they're probably going to wear us down, but you know what? We're going to have fun doing it. Well, the bad news is I'm going to be fighting uphill, but the good news is I don't have to be attacking uphill. It's just that they get to run down on me, which, you know, it's not that bad. I'll just hang out down here and shoot at them. I mean, honestly, it kind of gives me a decent field of fire for my serpentines, so that might work out. Also, funny enough, so this counts as hiding, I guess. This is, like, they're clearly sticking out, but they're both concealed, so that might be a nasty little surprise for anyone charging after my serpentine on this side. And I'm not sold on this spacing. I'm going to spread them out, I'm sure. Once they're in this position, as you know, I can't make these formations until I actually start the battle, so I'm not going to move them around until there. I press begin. All right, so there we go. Now they're moving into that formation that I just had them in, and there we go. Let's just do this as well. And yeah, like I was saying, I'm not sold on where I want everyone. I might spread them out a bit. I might condense them a bit. I'm not sure. So we're gonna just kind of react to how the enemy wants to play this. I might bring these guys out a bit to kind of hold this forest. We will see what they want to do. The enemy is now in range of one of my serpentines, and let's see if I can get them in range on this side as well. Anything I can shoot at? Yeah. I just want to shoot at anything. Anything that I can start to draw a line of sight on so that I can start sending them some shells their way. And now let's start to aim for center mass, feudal men-at-arms, and maybe I can just bounce some stuff. If I hit anything yet, I'm not sure. And then on this side, let's see here. I'm thinking center mass, yeah, center mass. Although it is tempting to go after those chivalric knights there in the back. That is very tempting. That had to have been a hit, right? Jesus, how is that not a hit? Come on. Man. Looks like, alright, looks like I'm killing some chivalric sergeants, so hey, there's that. There is that. And alright, looks like I'm picking off a few, yeah, I'm picking off some chivalric knights despite the fact that I'm not targeting them, so that's great. Yeah, maybe I'll just let them keep shooting at what they're going after. Yeah. Yeah, we're getting some kills, so that is okay. And yeah, they're pressing me pretty good here, so let's see, our blasters are now in range, so they're gonna start picking off my gunners. But my longbows should be in range pretty soon here. And militia sergeants on that flank. Yeah, militia sergeants are going to trade very well into my chivalric knights, and they have a lot of heavy spears as well, which is a little bit troublesome. Let's go after chivalric knights in the back now, and try to get a volley in on them. Yeah, guns are now beginning to shoot, and chivalric dudes. Let's send pikes to hold them down. And then, oops, up here as well. Gunner should have got back. And yep, chivalric knights look like they want to run on in. So yeah, let's put pikes in here and billmen to cut those guys down. And then let's get billmen in here, and then billmen in here. Alright, and now let's unleash the chivalric knights here to go after those chivalric knights. Go, go, go. And then these chivalric knights probably hit the same target, honestly. Yeah, just wrap up their chivalric knights. Ooh, their dudes got into my dudes. Ugh. Let's get my general in to fight their militia sergeants and try to get my longbows back if I can. And that should be fine. Let's get gunners here. And gunners here. Yeah, so we wrapped up their dudes. And let's get my knights now into the rear of their feudal sergeants and try to break them here. And pikemen as well. Yeah, pikemen go and knights go. And then what are you shooting at? Shoot at some step cav if you please. Let's get my gunners up so they keep shooting at stuff. And looks like we're driving them off here. And then you shoot at that heavy cav there. And what's happening here? Okay, so that's... we drove them off. That's fine. So, billmen, get back, get back, get back. And that seems like a pretty good route on the bad guys, yeah. So, let's see here. Do I want to keep chasing? I do at least want to get rid of the step heavy cav, for sure. Let's get knights up here to help out against the step heavy cav, because I'm fighting up against at least 2 units with my chivalric knights. So let's try it. Can I get them away? Come on. Go, go, go. And maybe ceasefire. Yeah, can I do that? Can I not shoot my dudes? So ceasefire, ceasefire. So we should break those arbalesters, and we're running off the step heavy cav here. And here we go. So step heavy cav here. Let's turn my pikes around and help out, so that my knights can continue to run on their chivalric sergeants. That was pretty solid for a first engagement here, and I'm tempted to think that I actually might be able to drive off a second wave, perhaps, with the forces that I have. My left flank did take probably the roughest beating, but my center and my right flank, I'm sorry, my left flank took the worst beating. My center and right flank seems like they're okay. So yeah, we might be okay, but still, I mean, those longbowmen, or sorry, those Viking rushes are going to be pretty hazardous. It feels kind of bad wasting my shots on militia sergeants and halberdiers, and also these units aren't well grouped up together, so I don't know how I'm going to be doing here, hitting these units. But I may as well. I mean, I don't know if the enemy is going to be grouping up like they were in that first wave ever again during this battle, so I may as well use my shots while I have them, and then I can withdraw these gunners. Well, this isn't good. It has begun to rain, and my guns are not going to be able to shoot. That is, my arquebusiers won't be able to shoot. My cannons or my serpentines can still shoot. But yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. So we're gonna have to move back my arquebusiers to the back of the line. And ooh, I forgot to take these guys or put them back on to fire well. Yeah, we'll need that longbowman to fire now that we aren't gonna have any gunner fire for this. And my cav are back into hiding, so they can pop out and surprise this enemy again. And so they got militia sergeants, halberdiers, spears, Vikings, peasants, and urban militia. So not super fantastic, but again, like my pikes are not, you know, super duper. Like they are high tier, but yeah, they're not great units. So yeah, it's despite the fact that it's like it's not much, still, you know, not having my guns be useful in the circumstance is going to be a bit challenging. 14 mounted sergeants back in the rear there, so not too worried about them. And yeah, let's see here. Hopefully it stops raining soon, because it would be nice to get my guns back into action. Let's go ahead and send my pikes after these militia sergeants, and then let's actually get my general up in there, because he can get a little flanking attack on those militia sergeants. And let's get billmen against peasants. And then these billmen can go after those halberdiers on that side. And then let's go ahead. I don't really want to send chivalric knights into urban militia. That's just it's a bad fight for me, you know? It's a bad fight, but it looks like we are breaking them, so I may as well send my cav out so I can start to chase down some of these units. So yeah, you guys go, and then you guys go. Yep, there's the break. And yeah, all is good. So we'll get rid of whoever we can here. And are you guys out of ammo? You guys start shooting at... Okay, so you're out of ammo. So you go ahead and withdraw, and I can bring out another unit. Let's get my general back just to make sure that he is safe. And let's see here. We'll chase a little bit, and that's probably enough. that's probably good, because yeah, they got some troops up there. Now it appears like they're going to be pushing on my right flank in this case. So let's go ahead and pull back a little bit and get on this hill with my right flank, and then let's pull my center and then left flank over as well, so that they don't get left out on the fringe of this conflict. And I have been able to get another unit onto the battlefield since withdrawing that Serpentine crew. Speaking of which, are you out of ammo? Yeah, you are. So let's withdraw you as well. And where is that other? Yeah, billman. Sweet. Perfect. Nice getting them on. And what I should do is withdraw longbowmen are out of ammo. I should withdraw them. I should. But I think I want to hang on to them at least for this wave. just in case I do need them to throw them into a melee. Obviously not ideal, but they're here if I need them. They're here if I need them, and then I think that my next unit of reinforcements is going to be... Are my guns firing? Sweet, yeah, nice, nice, nice. Alright, my next unit of reinforcements is going to be longbowmen, I think, so I will be getting some more range firepower on pretty soon here. And are my knights not hidden? Yes, they are concealed, but it kind of looks like the Vikings are going after them, so maybe they remember. Yeah, they know what those forest hides. I don't like that. I don't like how they're just kind of just going right for it. So let's just pull back actually with my knights, and if I can, let's get pikes, throw them into the Vikings, and guns can pull back. And how are we doing up here? We're fine. Vikings are going to be trying to get around us, so let's just get my pikes like that. It looks like their Vikings are losing badly versus my pikes, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, so now guns can just kind of turn around and shoot if they want. And yeah, those Vikings are going to get... Yeah, they're in the backfield, and you don't want to be in the backfield if you're just kind of going to be exposed like that. Not a good place for them. So yeah, we're driving away those mounted sergeants, and then billmen can kind of go like that. And then pikes can go kind of like that. Yeah, looks like they're going to be running away. Nice. And they have archers and handgunners now. So yeah, this is the one thing about this late game army comp of mine that, you know, it's fun, it's cool, I got guns, I got artillery, it really is nice, but man, not having light cav does feel very limiting, it does. I've tried to fit light cav into these army comps. It's tough though, it is tough. Let's see, let's just shoot the gap and go up the middle. I don't want to fight those Vikings with my knights. They're gonna get like a bonus of like 3 or 4 attack against my heavily armored dudes. That'd just be just a really bad fight for them. So, if anything, let's get my pikes turned around so that they can fight Vikings. And yeah, my slow-ass, heavily armored knights can chase down some archers and guns. That's fine for now. And yeah, oh yeah, Vikings, that's right. These guys are just kind of hanging out back here. Yeah, alright, that's enough. That's enough playtime. Let's get my billmen and billmen, go after these guys and surround them and then kill them. And let's get longbowmen, and then you guys can withdraw as well. So yeah, we'll route that unit. We're shooting at that unit. Getting some good volleys in there. Let's spread them out a bit better so they get that true volley fire going. I now have a new fresh set of units on. Not all new, but just a good solid, you know, chivalric knights, pikemen, longbowmen, all that good stuff. And they're trickling their units on in. Some Vikings, some feudal sergeants, and 2 units of Pavese crossbows. So nothing too crazy, but it's nice having a fresh unit of cav, albeit, you know, another heavy cav unit. There's 0 light cav in my army. And yeah, it's limiting, it is, but at least these guys are fresh, so they could get a solid chase on in. In fact, speaking of which, let's get them out to the flanks, just so that when we want to send them after those crossbows, we can do that. And I'm gonna keep these guys are, I'm just gonna keep them. They're tired, sure, but yeah, not the Vikings, not the Vikings. We're not gonna make them fight my Viking dudes. All right, you guys get back. Pikes go up here, and then yeah, pikes do that, and then yeah, let's go ahead and get a flanking charge, and we'll just keep an eye on those Vikings as they really like trying to get these flanking attacks in here. So we're going to be cutting these guys up. And what are the longbowmen shooting at? The Vikings? The guys in the forest? Cool. Oh, it looks like we got some chivalric or knights. Yeah, there we go. So let's make sure that these guys are on skirmish mode. And what are you guys shooting at? The knights aren't in range, so... And yeah, that's what I thought. Run away, Vikings. Get out of here. Get out of here. You're not even the right time frame, guys. And Feudal Knight's charging right on in. Or at least they want to. They're thinking about it. They're trying. Alright, guys, don't be a hero. Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back. And Pavia's crossbows. They're like ready to melee. Yeah, they're ready to go. So do we need to turn around here? Maybe? Yeah, it looks like we do. And so let's go get knights going up here and then here. And then it's time for you. It's go time. You turn on from that side. And yeah, we're pushing them back. All right, good job, guys. You guys were meant to be heroes. Perfect. I thought that was going to be the end of those 2 units of infantry, but they held their own. And then you turn on the feudal knights there, and then yeah, we're gonna get a full go down break. And you stop shooting. And yeah, run down those Vikings, please, while they're still. Oh, they're just broken. Hopefully we can just break them. I don't want to fight them, but can we just break these guys right away? Break. There we go. Perfect. And yes, Pavia's crossbows running away. Billman, for some reason, is still fighting. Or not Billman, but Feudal Knights are fighting despite being down to 9 guys, 4 guys. All right. And all right, infantry, get back. Yes, get back. You guns, get up. And Billman, 33 Billman. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bad guys. There's a lot of Danes. So I don't want to send guys home and withdraw them too soon. Now we have ourselves 3 units of archers and arbalesters. So let's just go after them here with our cav. They just have some mounted sergeants guarding them. And I don't want... Yeah, they're just getting free shots on my chivalric knights. So let's not let that happen. Yeah, they're doing a lot of damage. And it is raining again. So yeah, they're not going to be able to use our guns here. But we probably should be fine, honestly. 3 units of chivalric knights should be able to clean up anything here, really. Like, you can go there, you go there, that's fine, and then you go there after those arbalesters. And do they have anything else that can potentially support right now? They got some Vikings just miles away. I am tempted to come up here and take out these catapults and ballista crew. The battle's not going to end until they are off the field. Now, I do imagine that they still have a lot more reinforcements still, so it's probably not time yet for the battle to end. And it is a consideration to make, really, because like that's a big ass hill, and that's gonna take a lot of effort for these heavily armored knights to make that climb. So yeah, I don't maybe just kind of leave them for now, Yeah, they got guys pouring on in, so we have to leave that artillery for later. This is actually looking to be a solid little melee engagement here because they got 3 Vikings and then arquebusiers, handgunners, and Slav javelinmen. And because it's raining, none of the guns can be used on my side nor theirs. So it's just going to be mano a mano, dude, with spears and axes and swords chopping at each other the good old-fashioned way. So actually, you know what? Let's get my fresh pikes up on ahead so that they can take the brunt of this. And Billman as well. Let's get these guys up here. Since it is going to be a slugging match, let's get my best, freshest troops up there. And yeah, Billman, let's go. Yeah, get the arquebusiers in the back. As much as it pains me, I want to use my guns, but we may as well keep them for a time when when we can use them, obviously, and not waste them. And yeah, there's still plenty of ammo, really. So let's see, Vikings. Let me guess. Are you guys doing a flank? Is that what you're gonna do? You're gonna flank? You go around the forest and do it. Never works. Yeah, go. Fine. I'm not gonna stop you. You just get shot in the back. You just do a flank. Yeah, it's read it in a book once. Is that what you do? Yeah. Okay. Have fun. Have fun with that. I'll just keep shooting in the back with my archers and. We will see what your friends want to do. Look at this. Look at this. Your fantastic, glorious flanking move. Look at what it did. Look at what you've achieved. Now you're getting shot in the face. You're facing off against, instead of pikes, you're facing off against chivalric knights. So, good job. Well done. You've done it. This is what happens to you now. And yeah, your friends are getting the idea. They see the writing on the wall. They're like, nope, none of that. None of that. Yeah, these Vikings are like, yeah, no, can't flank on this side. But yeah, we'll run down those Vikings. And what, let's see, halberdiers, handgunners. Let's see here. I definitely don't want to get caught in open field with by their halberdiers with my cav, so let's just hang back. We got ourselves some more secret agent Vikings back here, so let's send some pikemen to go hold them in place while my knights charge in. And yeah, we can just rinse and repeat. Just do this here. Smack these guys. Handgunners, man, they got really close. Oh yeah, well they have to, right? That they have to because they can't fire from range like my arquebusiers can. What happened to those Vikings? I thought that they had a plan. And looks like these guys, it's just send my knights after them so that they can get run down. And let's see, handgunners, yeah, they just decided to book it, so they're gonna be running away. And did I turn you guys off of fire at will? Oh no, you just are out of ammo. Got it. Got it. So let's see, I should probably withdraw you guys. I know I have at least one more archer unit in reserve. These field sergeants also trying that flanking attack, just trying to be just like those Vikings. And we're going to send our chivalric knights to go get them. And let's get these guys as well. Hopefully they break soon because it's a bad fight for my chivalric knights. Fighting in the forest against spears. Not the super greatest move on my end, but... And let's get these guys going after those arquebusiers. Get this some Bavise crossbows that I definitely want to hunt down with some cavalry eventually. But all in all, I will say, so like, this is so like fights like this are kind of one of the main reasons why I like using guns actually, like unironically, I do like this because it's a slow rate of fire. You know, their ammo lasts for a very long time. Anytime they get a hit, they do cause that big morale penalty, which, you know, this stage of the battle, their enemies also already kind of going through some morale issues. So, you know, getting shot by guns isn't good for them. I get that, like, crossbows also have that slow rate of fire, but they don't have that same morale hit, you know? So it's one of those things where... It's nice to, like, the guns are kind of feel like a handicap in that initial first wave, you know, because they're not the strongest units. But for the waves after that, I really don't mind them because you're not typically facing a really heavy, strong, unified push from the enemy. Now there are times where that happens, and it can kind of catch you off guard. Well, definitely me. I don't know about you, but. There are definitely times where I've felt comfortable like this in a battle, and then I've, you know, just gotten wiped. And I'm sure you've seen this if you've been watching my channel. It happens, definitely. But there's also plenty of times where it doesn't happen, and you get just kind of this slow trickle, and the guns accumulate value. You know, it does feel good. So yeah, halberdiers running away. Let's see, I don't want those. I don't want, see, okay, so Vikings, crossbows. Obviously, I want to charge out and hit those crossbows, but they have enough stuff back there, so I'm going to pull back with my knights so that they can't get picked off by those crossbows, and hopefully we can kind of pull them forward. Well, if these crossbows are just going to walk right up to within gun range, that's helpful. Are they actually going to be going into melee? Interesting. Are they just trying to get range on my cav? They might be. That might be what they're trying to do. Interesting. Well, I'm glad I pulled my guys back because, yeah, now they're Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to pull forward now. They're like, wait a minute, there's guns there. Yeah, you just noticed that? You just noticed that, you silly gooses. And are these guys still chasing javelins? Ugh, feels bad. Alright, let's just get you back. Yeah. Yep, that's, see, again, I wish I had light cav. It's just better. It's better for chasing stuff. Especially light infantry, you know? Light infantry can be kind of haggard for that kind of fight, so... Alrighty then, let's see, Billman versus Halberdiers. Well, I mean, that'll be fine if we just get a RG poo a little bit like that, a little bit like this. So we fix these guys in place, hit them in the flank, and hopefully we break them. They do have low morale, so... Yeah, looks like my Billmen are tearing them apart actually. Alright, alright, alright. Alright, I'll take it. I'll take it. Looks like these Vikings are going for the little flanking attack. Pretty crazy idea. And let's see, Billman, let's just go like that. And Chivalric Knights, get back here. Nope, Vikings going in after my guns. Kind of lost track there. So let's get these Billman moved up and yep, pushing here. So let's get here and here and then yeah, just guns get back. And then claps in from both sides. And I think that... Does that tie up all their infantry units? Well, they got Vikings in the back. Ugh, okay. Alright, let's get my knights back then, so they can't get picked off by those crossbows. And... Alright, so we got some sneaky secret ops Vikings in the forest there. So let's get my guns back here. And yeah, it's Vikings. I shouldn't pursue, honestly. That's how you get broken and pushed back. Now, I just wanted to pause the game because one of my arquebusiers is out of ammo here. So I pulled up, F1 is how you pull this up here. And since you can't find out how much kills you guys get after the battle, does it show here or no? No, it's not going to tell me how many kills my guys have gotten. That's too bad. Yeah, I wanted to see how many kills my guns have gotten. Let's see, attack bonus. Yeah, it's kind of hard to read. It gives you the, it tells you what these things mean down here, but, yeah, so just tell the morale in here. Okay, interesting. I should look into this more often. I don't spend a lot of time in this menu. I always forget to, let's see, press F1 for overviews. Is that gonna... No, so there's no way I can see how many kills my guys have gotten until after the battle. And that's only for the units that are actually on the field at the time, so it's, yeah, it's a shame. Oh well. I tried. So these guys are out of ammo, so I may as well withdraw them, and then, yep, just smack these Vikings around and break them. And we get some handgunners shooting me point blank, eh? That doesn't feel good. That does not feel good. Let's see, Vikings, and... I wonder if they're retreating. If they're retreating, then I want in on that. I want to hit them and run them down. So it looks like, yeah, you're exhausted, so that's as fast as you can go. That sucks. And I'm sure these guys are probably exhausted as well. Let's get you after them, and the other unit can keep chasing those Vikings. And yeah, that's all we have. All we have is just two slow, tired, heavily armored cav units to chase down these units, which it looks like it might be done. Yeah, looks like, I mean, they're all retreating, so what else would it mean? All things considered, that's not the worst rundown ever, you know, for three heavily armored, exhausted chivalric knights. They gave it their best. They were able to get a few of those units, and we almost captured 1,000 dudes, so that's pretty sweet. And yeah, not bad, eh? Not bad. I kind of thought I was gonna get smashed, but no, that's not how it turned out. And I'm definitely gonna be executing these captives for sure.
Yeah, because at this, I mean, you know, the Danes are pushing me pretty hard, so I'm going to try to just reduce the numbers as much as I can. And this is going to hurt them. Yeah, this is going to really take some wind out of their sails. At least like in the neighborhood, you know, at least like in the area where I am. That's going to do. So I want to see the guns. You got 47 kills and you got 27 kills. Yeah, I'd be curious to see... Oh wait, are these the arquebusiers? I can't really read. 74 kills? That's not bad. That's not bad. But then... Yeah, chivalric knights really carried. 324 captured, 278 captured, 177 kills, 114 kills. Yeah, they did well. Chivalric men-at-arms, 9 kills. Billmen, 88, 56, and 145. Pikemen, 86, 38, and 34. Billmen, 29. Chivalric knights, 59. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. So, oh yeah, I almost forgot. Kill captured soldiers. So yeah, that's going to be over 2,000 people killed. And we've lost almost 300. Okay. Yeah, not bad. That's actually a pretty decent fight. And so the Byzantines are retreating in Antioch, but they're retreating to the fortress. So we will have to fight that. Although they retreated with like the entire army, so we can probably just starve them out in a couple of turns, eh? Yeah, so let's see. All right. 1 for 0 here in Skagerrak. 1 for 0. And that was it for the naval fights? That was it, eh? Okay. And general has died of old age. And same thing. And so we're going to last a long time here in Edessa. So we're fine. And bribery mission. So as your emissary reaches his target, he reviews the army's worth. He advises you that the army is not of the value originally assessed. An offer of 5,624 florins should be made. Offer the advised amount. And no, he's too loyal, so that's unfortunate. So now he's going to get a loyalty trait. And then, yeah, same thing here. And Khazar. So the Sicilians are mobilized and preparing for a major attack. The Italians appear to be the target of their planned invasion. Okay, the Italians versus the Sicilians, eh? Yeah, we'll see about that. And yeah, also to royal up here to bribe. And yeah, this is what I'm curious about. Did I get any spies through Lithuania? Oh, they brought their king up here, so probably not. Their king is usually followed around by plenty of counter spies to save, you know, protect him. Oh, actually, looks like 2 of them got through at least. Okay, all right. And cannon foundry finished here in Rhodes. And let's see here. Ooh, the Italians rejected my proposal of an alliance. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's too bad. Ugh, this makes me a little bit nervous. Darn. Yeah, and skilled defenders. So +1 command when defending for Lord Bolingbroke. Hell yeah, dude. And Bloodlover. Oh, that's too bad. Damn. So has he done it before? Such a shame. Damn, that's a bad one. -3 morale. Oh, fuck. Oh, that's so bad. I didn't think it's hard. See, it's hard, you can't keep. It's hard to keep track of those things to see if they've done it before or not. If they've, you know, slaughtered captives before. Yeah, it's a shame. It really is. But he's still probably one of my, you know, better generals. So I'm not really sure if there's anything I can do about that. How many turns is it going to be until the Byzantines fall? Just 2 turns. I'm just going to starve them out. Yeah. Yeah, I am just going to starve them out. If they want to attack Antioch with their army in Syria and try to relieve their forces, they're free to try. But man, I am not seeing it. I am not seeing... Yeah, because I'm going to last long enough here to wait that out. So this can fall. Antioch can fall before I can come in and rescue my forces in Edessa. In fact, gosh, that'd be funny. My 2 chivalric knights can probably sally out and beat this. Right? You know, like that, doesn't that seem kind of one-sided? Oh, yeah, that's something to think about. Before I forget, let's go ahead and get this stack onto the mainland. Oh, I can only go to Flanders. Ooh. Oh, Danish boat, I see. Danish boat, 3-star bark, eh? And then I have a carrack and two barks myself. Let's see, 0-star admiral. Okay. I don't really like my odds there. Funny enough. Let's bring down these cogs to help fight that if I have to. And yeah, I guess I'll just go to Flanders, damn it. Gun here, and then gun there. And then I was waiting for another, yeah, Arquebousier, that's right. Yeah, these guys. They're gonna have to march down. I need these guys on the mainland. Yeah, because despite the fact that I won a pretty solid victory, there's still 6 Danish stacks here between Toulouse and Aragon. Not to mention another, 6-ish Italian stacks who, we don't know. We don't know what they're doing because they did not ally themselves with us. So the Italians own Bavaria and Austria. Got it. So the Germans just have Bohemia. It's it's funny that the Italians are kind of letting them live. It's a little interesting. And it's also interesting that the Italians haven't really picked a side yet in the Danish-English war, because they could have definitely jumped in on either side. Preferably against the Danes, because there is opportunities here, right? Like the Italians have a presence in North Africa along with the Danes, Iberia as well, the steppe, in Eastern Europe. So like, there would be plenty for them to do if they wanted to fight the Danes, and yeah, they border them in so many places, so that could be quite the engagement. And the Italians border me only here in Flanders, and okay, well, yeah, basically all along all along my continental Flanders, Ile-de-France, Anjou, Toulouse, and Aquitaine. Only those places, that's it. But they should definitely choose to fight against the Danes, right? Definitely. In fact, man, that would make the naval war so much easier as well. But in any case, that's going to be it for today. Before I go, I just wanted to say that if you're enjoying these videos and you would like to support the channel, then consider subscribing, liking, and sharing. It all helps immensely. So until next time, this has been Conastep playing Medieval Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.